Hello everyone and welcome back to From Our Basement Gaming.
Hey everyone, sorry I had to fix the microphone,
We're all good. Yep, we are back with part 14 of our Rayman Let's Play, and we're still on this Twilight Gulch level, I think.
Yes, we are.
I think that's what it's called.
It is.
Thank you to those of you who have tuned in. The summer has been a little bit rough with views, but I'm hoping by the time you're watching this that our views have improved. Not exactly sure though.
Yay! I could have just done that as it turned out. Yes, we're still stuck on these two levels in Rayman 1.
Yeah.
Fart.
I think we have 2 and 3, don't we, now?
I think we did pick those two up, yeah.
Yeah. Don't know if we'll ever get to them, but we have them.
Yeah.
Because obviously after this we'll probably play some other franchise on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
We'll jump around a little bit.
Yeah.
No good to stay to one thing for too long.
Yeah. After all, we've had so many successes with the Bandicoot, the Dragon.
Yeah. I think we almost had more views back then when we were doing those games.
Yeah.
I feel like Rayman is something a lot of people have played, but I don't know if it has as much of a
It wasn't their life.
yeah, as much of like a following. I don't know though, there are probably some really dedicated fans. Because it seems like a lot of people have played it, but I don't see like a lot of people talk about Rayman these days.
Yeah.
I know I made it clear on here that I will only be playing up to a certain point, because once they get into those rabbits, that's pretty much where we're gonna cut off, because
Yeah.
we're just not really that interested
We're not interested
in frankly what seems like a video game equivalent to the Minions,
yeah.
who probably predate the Minions.
Yeah. I
Interestingly
think
enough,
4 years?
I think so. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I thought that these guys had their own TV show. So I do remember, even though I didn't know like anything about Rayman, I do remember thinking, why are these weird bunny things getting a show and Rayman isn't? Or am I mistaken? Did Rayman get a show and I just didn't know about it?
That, unfortunately, I don't know, because I was not a devout Rayman fan back in the days.
I know, I knew like nothing about Rayman, but I still wondered why these weird bunnies were getting a show instead of him. Let me know in the comments if
Yes, please do.
you happen to be like, Rayman actually was going to get a show, or it did, or let us know in the comments, because I would love to know.
So would I.
I know Crash Bandicoot has continually failed to get a show, poor thing.
I know. It seems rightly proper for it to have a show.
I mean, I've seen 2 separate pilots for shows that never happened for Crash Bandicoot. Although I think supposedly the first of which was just they were going to have fully animated, like more in a cartoon style cutscenes originally.
So it was essentially going to be you, the player are playing the video game,
Yeah.
playing the cartoon show.
Right. Right. But I guess they decided to just make the cutscenes 3D as well. So that's why I'm correcting myself that, oh yeah, that wasn't a cartoon pilot. Those were actually supposed to be cutscenes.
Crash Bandicoot.
Whereas the other one I saw, I think, was a relatively more recent, what was going to be a cartoon, but I think more on streaming than, to give you an idea of how recent it would have been streaming, not live TV. So. Yeah. It's just so weird how things have changed.
Yeah. And you saw a very good video. I hate to bring this conversation to a certain blue hedgehog, but
Yeah.
you saw something about how they mentioned a cartoon and
Yeah, this morning I just finished up a video that I had started, and it was sitting on my watch later for the longest time, which was a recording of a Q&A panel with Ryan Drummond, the first video game voice actor for Sonic, English video game voice actor. And he didn't really say. I was just guessing that this might have been around the time of Sonic Heroes, but he said at one point his contact with Sega had kind of alluded to the fact that they were thinking of doing a cartoon, and he was sharing how that's basically like the holy grail for voice actors, is to have a cartoon, like to be the main star of a cartoon. So he was like really excited at the idea of starring as Sonic in a cartoon. And the game was very successful, so he was under the impression that the cartoon was gonna be a sure thing, because they sold like several million copies. I forgot what the number was of the game. And so he called his contact and said, okay, so when's this cartoon happening? And he's like, what, a cartoon? Well, why do you think we'd be doing a cartoon? And he's like, well, you mentioned it before. And this guy, he said, why do you think cartoons are made? And he said, to entertain kids. And he says, no. And he basically said, it's to promote the franchise, Cartoons sell toys, or they sell a game, or they sell brands. So he said, the game did great. We don't need to make a cartoon. So he didn't know that the proviso was, if this game's gonna flop, then we'll make a cartoon.
yeah.
So basically it was going to be a fallback if the sales of the newest Sonic game at that time would not do well. Like, yeah, and so that was like I see, a realization why we had such a weird and again, this is America. Sometimes Japan functions similarly, but just to note out there, where this more than likely is just referring to the US market for the most part. Although he said this was before Sonic X. So maybe this was even before Sonic Heroes, though. I have to check when Sonic X was made again.
Was it with Sonic Adventure?
It could have been either with Sonic Adventure or Adventure 2, which would have made more sense, because they would have been unsure. Especially, Sonic Adventure was very ambitious. So, and Sonic was not doing well before Sonic Adventure because for some reason we didn't really have a mainline Sonic game on the Saturn other than like Sonic R, I think. And the Saturn version of 3D Blast, which...
Yeah, because of the debacle that was Sonic Extreme.
Yeah, Sonic Extreme. Sad. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't... and I wasn't intending to talk about Sonic the whole time. But yes, thank you for...
listening to us.
Yes, and
blame
thank you.
myself because...
I was going to say thank you for bringing it up so I could talk about it.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure.
Yeah, it also taught me a little bit... It gave me a little insight as to what might have been the start of Sega considering to no longer have the original voice cast. Because, yeah, I had heard before that they changed all of them to change to non-union voice actors.
And that might have been something they learned from 4Kids.
Yeah.
Jeez, just the non-union. We're part of the movement.
Yeah.
Says 4Kids who are about to dub One Piece and regret the day that they said yes.
Yeah, because I think... Yeah, and maybe they're like, I would like to know if the voice actors they probably were hired for Sonic X first, and so they're like, oh, why don't we just hire them?
Yeah.
Because Sonic Heroes still had the first voice cast for the most part, except for Tails. Tails is a sad case where Tails was always somebody different almost all the time.
Poor Tails.
I think we've had the current Tails for a while. I think when they're finally like, let's just hire a woman. I think once they did that, which they probably did in the past, but they're like, let's do that again.
Yeah.
So I think that...
If she's the voice of Sonic Boomtails.
Yes. I was going to say they've had her for a while.
Yeah.
She's even in the movie, which kind of angered me, to be honest.
Me too.
Because I'm like, sure, you'll put the video game voice actress for Tails in...
Let me guess, you could afford her. And you really wanted it.
Which makes no sense because Ben Schwartz, I would think, would be a lot more expensive than Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah.
But Ryan Drummond, when talking about the movie, was saying that they probably wrote the script in such a way that it played to Ben Schwartz's strengths. So it's very possible that the director just had a vision and Ben Schwartz was part of that vision. This is me speculating at this point.
That's good
no
speculation.
But hearing him say that and saying that the script would probably look very different if he was voicing Sonic in the movie, because they of course asked about that, like, would you have wanted to be Sonic? But yeah.
I'm sure he would.
Yeah. So I honestly think, and as he was pointing out, it's all about marketing. Like, even having Charles Martinet cameo in the Mario movie was just a marketing ploy. So...
Yeah. Is it bad to admit that I'm kind of sick of marketing?
I understand, but yeah, unfortunately...
We have to.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil. And I gotta learn to get better at it so that I can succeed.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be slimy about it.
Yeah, because I'm...
Yeah, I know, it's frustrating.
Yeah, and I think then I think it's all evil. Even if they say it's necessary. But...
And I mean, without marketing, voice acting wouldn't be a job.
Right.
So, as much as we want to call it evil, it's not really. They just have tactics that feel that way. I think marketing is fine, but a lot of times they take it too far. They make decisions that are obviously just greed-based. Where it's like, at least act like you care about the fans. That's... crap. That's basically... Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I was scared too.
That's basically how I feel about decisions the movies made.
Cops!
Like, I felt like it was more insulting than a nice thing to have Charles Martinet cameo. But that's because of my bias that I grew up with Charles Martinet.
Yeah, I also found it insulting.
Yeah.
Oh, farts.
And, I mean, yeah, just as... I think I would have found it less insulting if Tails had been played by somebody else, just like everybody else was played by somebody else. Because it felt like a... Now, in that case, I feel like that was to get people to come to the movie.
Because the movie...
Because the movie was like, look, it's Tails! The trailers, I mean.
Yeah, that explains why I was fairly disappointed in Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Sonic 1 made me kind of mad. Sonic 2 hurt in a disappointing way because I knew Sonic 1 was going to be terrible. Sonic 2... They said it would be good.
Yeah.
And I was not sure what I was getting into, and after watching it and seeing that it was no different and kind of worse than the first one, I was like...
Yeah.
I'm really not happy with this.
Yeah, a lot of people liked it because it felt like a Sonic movie to them. And...
Of course they did.
But my problem is... That was my problem. See, it is a reinterpretation, I guess, of Sonic 2, 3, Knuckles, and maybe some of Sonic Adventure, though that seemed pretty half-assed.
Was Gun in Sonic Adventure 1?
No, they weren't.
So, Adventure 2.
Right, well, I don't know whether to include that, because that was just there to tease their next movie.
Well, that and the secret agent guy had said, I'm from Gun, and I'm like, my jaw dropped. It's like, what? Oh, no, you didn't, and you did.
I think, yeah, Gun was, made for Adventure 2. So yeah, once he showed him, I'm like, Shadow's in the next one.
Yeah, and that explains it because, although, in my opinion, they kind of ruined Shadow's appearance from the start because if Gun exists, that means Shadow is going to exist.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. They weren't trying to hide it. They wanted you to know Shadow will be in the next movie. Yeah. I'm guessing Rouge is not in the third movie, which...
That's offensive.
I could be wrong, but I think if Rouge was in the third movie, I would have seen more promotional material with her. Which I have seen zero, so... yeah.
Which is heartbreakingly sad because Rouge is as important as Amy in adventure too.
I mean, they are missing out on a very interesting potential plot point. But I don't know. I'm gonna watch it eventually.
What, is Donut Cop guy going to break through the wall like he's Chris Thorndike or something?
No, he's just going to get very injured and Sonic's gonna freak out. Much like he did when Chris Thorndike got hurt in Season 3.
What did you do to Donut Cop Lord?
because Donut Cop is a father-like figure.
Just rolls off the tongue, yeah.
His name is Tom, I think.
Yeah.
Which is a very boring name.
Yeah.
No offense to people who are named Tom.
Sorry,
it's
Toms
just
of the world.
Character-wise, it's a boring name. Okay.
Yeah. It's as boring as my knight from our Final Fantasy 1 Let's Play.
John. Yeah, John. You have cool names like Bandit and Bianca and Kuro.
In retrospect, I should have had you name all 4 of them.
Led by their fearless leader, John.
Yeah. You should have named him
It's okay. I didn't want to take all of the naming.
Yeah. You came from a serious, cool place.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It's okay. But yeah, eventually I'll watch the third Sonic Paramount movie. We both will. Yeah. And believe me, I'm sure I'll have stuff to talk about it. I'm going to try to be open. I mean, I was open when I watched Sonic 2, wasn't I?
You were. We both were. And one, for that matter. Despite the fact that...
Yeah, and I'm probably like 1% of the population that says the first one's better by not being more of a Sonic movie.
Surprisingly, yeah. Despite its problems, this first one... I kind of knew what I was getting into with the first movie. And sure enough, beat for beat.
Yeah.
Milk stories, fart jokes, and hilarious nonsense later, yeah. It didn't... Yeah. It was what I expected from a Paramount movie called Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, because it's just, for me personally, somebody who's been a part of the Sonic fandom for so long and takes the timeline probably even more seriously than Sega themselves, I guess.
If we're inviting some of the editors from the comic book to make Sally Acorn officially canon, yes.
Well, I don't know if they've done that yet, but...
Me neither.
But, I mean... I do not do the make all the games one universe. That would have worked to a point, but there's a drop-off point where it makes no sense to do that. So.
Correct.
But anyway, I've always been, for the most part, a strictly video game lore fan. So when... And I get it, the movie's just an interpretation of it. But when I feel like it's a bad interpretation, and especially as it's getting a lot of younger people into the franchise, I do not like it being misrepresented the way the Paramount movies do it. And I think that's why the second Sonic movie was not a good time for me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be open. I've seen some spoiler-free reviews of Sonic 3. Like, I specifically have not seen any that had spoilers, except I think one did, but he still kept it vague. Because I want to give it a chance. I feel like, from what little I've seen from ads and stuff that they are trying to portray Shadow well, but I'm still iffy about the casting that is very suspicious to me because a lot of fans accurately guessed it. Keanu Reeves as Shadow.
Oh, that.
It was between him and the guy who played Anakin Skywalker, whose name I don't remember. But most people had guessed Keanu Reeves.
Poor kid.
With only a small amount guessing the other guy's name. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but I will always defend you, and I hate that people made fun of you for that stuff.
Yeah. I stand by you too, Annie.
If you happen to randomly be watching our Let's Play of Rayman.
Yeah. Sorry if you stumble on this and you're not that impressed.
No.
But I still think Star Wars Episode 1 was good, and...
I didn't like Episode 2 that much, but
yeah,
the scenes you were in were fine. I like Episode 3 probably a little bit more than most people, even though the ending sucked.
I liked Episode 3.
Yeah, I mean, the ending sucked, but...
The only thing that I would critique about Episode 3 is that a certain character did not either have a heroic moment or a villain moment. Basically, they left his story unfinished.
Because of the fans.
And I would much rather certain... How should I name drop him?
I don't know.
Okay. I would much rather Jar Jar either have a heroic moment or a villain moment than get defeated than not being there at all and only vaguely being hinted at with no real closure.
Because I feel like they felt like either way they were going to upset people, so they just did the safest thing, which was to barely involve him.
Oh.
I guess. This is my guess again. Just a guess.
Right.
But anyway, that's a discussion for another day.
Me personally, I kind of would err on the does a heroic moment and sacrifices himself to save the good guys.
Yeah. But anyway, I can't help but feel having Keanu Reeves as Shadow. I'm getting conspiratorial here, but
let's get conspiratorial here.
I feel like they did it because of the fans.
Oh, Dookie.
Either that, or if it's true that Keanu Reeves really is a huge Sonic fan and always wanted to play Shadow, it's possible that he asked and they said, yeah, definitely.
For a split second I thought, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Supersonic Legends of... and I want to be in your movie show.
Well, I've heard things about him that make me think he's more genuine than...
Well, that's good.
Than,
Pardon my joke, Keanu, if you're watching this video.
Yeah. I've heard that he kind of prefers just to be a normal guy more so than this huge celebrity that he's made out to be. So I wouldn't be, surprised if he is just kind of chill and but I don't know. They would have to literally be paying attention to the fans at all times for that conspiracy theory to be true.
Right. Because I'd hate to think that the terrible joke that I came up with of mixing them all up into one mess.
Yeah. And I was just quickly going in there like, no, I'm pretty sure Keanu Reeves is an actual gamer from what I've heard.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. I think that's part of the reason why he's been featured in some games.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I want to be fair and not be...
conspiratorial like me.
I was going to say not be skeptical of all actors involved in the production.
That's good.
Okay, so we're, I guess we'll end after this next try.
This level, gosh darn it.
But yeah, certain things I've seen based on the trailers and frankly even like the poster and stuff, I feel like they've already messed up.
Yeah, they did.
Having Dr. Robotnik meet Professor Gerald, to have Professor Gerald be alive is already messing up. Alright, we'll do just one more.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm like, they've already messed up. It makes no sense for him to be alive. These events were supposed to happen 50 years ago. And he was an old man 50 years ago.
If they've rewritten the story that the events happened in the then and now and not 50 years ago.
Or that he wasn't an old man 50 years ago. That's the only way they could logistically make that work. Like maybe he was in his 30s 50 years ago. Or his 20s. But how does he have his 16-year-old granddaughter then? Is the granddaughter actually his daughter? And that's what I mean. It's like...
Yeah, what? Did I have a fling and became a dad when I was 16, 17 years old? And,
yeah, it just... Alright, guys.
Take care.
Sorry that I ended up talking about this the whole time. But anyway, bye, guys.
Yep, bye, everybody.